Hello, friends. This is another episode of Empire of Lies, where we discuss manipulation and disinformation in the Russian media. Trump's visit, PR and Fizzle. The key plot of the latest episode of The Great Game is devoted to Donald Trump's visit to the UK. From the very first minutes, the Russian hosts downplay the event. Great PR, but the end result is a complete flop. The viewer is presented with a familiar pattern. Western leaders talk a lot but do little. Particular attention is paid to the press conference between Trump and British Prime Minister Starmer. Trump, according to the programme, supposedly outplayed the British and turned Europe into a US colony. This image is actively promoted by Russian propaganda. Europe is not a political entity, but a vassal of Washington. Moscow needs this narrative to convince Russians that there is no real unity in the West, only the dictates of the United States. The price of oil as the key to peace. The most discussed point is Trump's statement that the war in Ukraine can be stopped if oil prices fall sharply. The studio enthusiastically echoes this thesis. The logic is simple. Ukraine's fate is merely a side effect of the energy situation, meaning everything is decided not on the battlefield, but in the hydrocarbon market. This argument is cleverly integrated into the Russian propaganda matrix. The West is supposedly not fighting for democracy or sovereignty, but only for the price of a barrel. Thus, the very meaning of European support for Kyiv is blurred. It is being reduced to economic gain, stripped of its moral content. Europe as a vassal and a victim. A month has passed since your meeting with Putin. Isn't it time to call for a ceasefire? Not yet. When the time comes, if I have to do it, it will be tough. So what? What conclusions should we draw from this? First of all, I'd like to point out that the protocol and formality of this visit clearly doesn't correspond to the substantive part of the visit. That is, the entourage is impressive, but as you rightly said, Vyacheslav Alexievich, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is more froth. Although I don't rule out the possibility that there was some informal intra-elite dialogue, and perhaps some substantive discussions were held, but these concerned very general issues.